Alright guys, we've got the original down, but now, let's talk about the remake! So Suspiria is the remake of the 1977 horror classic directed by Dario Argentino, this one being directed by Luca Guadagnino, the same man who brought us Call Me By Your Name. And the new Suspiria essentially follows the exact same premise as the original film. A girl named Susie Bannion, who in this film is played by Dakota Johnson, travels overseas to a ballet school in Germany, and when she is there, she notices that some strange things are happening and that this school just might be run by a coven of witches. Alrighty guys, let's get into Suspiria. If you guys saw my top 5 most anticipated movies of the fall, you will all know that Suspiria was my #1. I have been dying to see this movie. I love the original film. If you guys haven't seen my review of the original film, I'll link it down below. But I love the original film, and I was really excited to see what Luca Guadagnino would do with this film. And speaking of him, like I mentioned before, I was not a big fan of Call Me By Your Name. In fact, I thought it was kind of overrated, if you ask me personally. But nonetheless, I was hyped as all hell to see this movie, and I'm so happy to say that Suspiria did not let me down whatsoever. I mean, holy crap, this movie was an experience. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I will compare the original to the remake, but the thing I love about both films is that both films are totally different beasts. The only things that both films have in common are the premise, the ballet dancing, and the coven. That's really all these things have in common. Otherwise, both these films are totally different. Going to Dakota Johnson, I've always loved her as an actress, and I know she could do good things because I've seen her in Black Mass and I loved her in Bad Times, The Oriole, but this is by far her best performance. Dakota Johnson's Susie Bannion has such a determination to her character, and not just that, I love the mysterious side to her character even more so, and the more that the movie goes along, the more that her mysterious side comes out, and by the end, my jaw dropped. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my jaw dropped at many scenes during this movie. Tilda Swinton in this movie, man, oh my god. Tilda Swinton was just something else, and I know it's probably not gonna happen, but I would love her to get an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She was that good. Something else I love about Tilda Swinton's character is that Tilda Swinton has such an ominous presence throughout the entirety of the film. Now, I would say more, but I don't want to give anything else away to you guys. And to point short and sweet, for Mia Goth, she is continuing to impress me as an actress because I loved her, and A Cure for Wellness loved her even more here. One of the things I love about the new Suspiria is how the story is told. Now, one of the comparisons here between the new one and the original is that in the original film, the film just dives into everything. There's really no fleshing out the characters or of the witch coven or the ballet school. Really, the original film is just a gory ride, where here, this film takes its time to develop not only its characters, but the ballet school and the witch coven involving the 3 mothers. And this story and the mystery was something that I could not get enough of. And actually something about the original film is that the film does not reveal the witch coven until like the 3rd act of the film, which I do think was very smart. I love the sense of paranoia that goes in this school. There are sequences in this film in which the paranoia comes around that I was honestly terrified. But this film's storytelling rather fleshes out everything, and it would much rather take its time to take you through its journey of what Susie Bannion is going through, and by the end, holy crap. But even more so with the storytelling, I love how this film goes into the themes of guilt, betrayal, and motherhood, and man, when it comes to themes of motherhood in this movie, it is frightening to say the least. Another thing that I absolutely love about the remake of Suspiria is how it's shot. Now, comparing it to the original film, the original has a much more lush and a much more vibrant color palette, where this one has a much more dull, mute, and a much more winter-like color palette to give it a much more evil tone, in which I love. How the dance scenes especially are shot. This film is one gorgeously shot film. And speaking of the dances in this movie, wow! I mean, holy shit. Now, another thing between this one and the original film is that if you guys have seen the original film has little to no dancing, where this one, the dancing essentially takes the spotlight. The thing that I love about the dancing in this movie is just how it feels and how it looks in general. The dancing in this film feels very sensual, it feels very erotic, and speaking of erotic, all the dances when it comes to the erotic feeling Every dance feels very erotic than anything in the 50 Shades movies. But not just sensual and erotic, but I love how everything essentially looks like a demonic possession. Because when you see how these girls move their bodies, and you see how they contort their arms and legs, I was getting freaked out. Something that was heavily advertised when it came to the remake of Suspiria was that the remake was scored by Radiohead's Thom Yorke. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Thom Yorke's score had such big, and I mean big, shoes to fill, because when it comes to Goblin's score for the original Suspiria, Goblin's score is one of the most iconic scores, not just in horror film history, but just film history, period. But man, I am happy to report that Thom Yorke's score in this movie is just hypnotic. Thom Yorke's score for Suspiria is just incredible, especially if you hear the song Volk. I get chills every time I hear that song. And I am praying that his song, Suspirium, gets an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song, because I love this song. It's not only melancholy, but it's just beautiful. But the thing that I love most about Thom Yorke's score is that he goes in a completely different direction instead of trying to emulate what Goblin did. Another thing that I absolutely love about this movie is Luca Guadagnino's direction and the editing. Now, how Luca Guadagnino approaches every scene, he directs with such an aggressive finesse that anytime, especially when a scary scene comes along, he makes sure that there are specific images that stay in your head and that will haunt you. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this film holds nothing back when it comes to the scares and especially the gore. This film is very in your face. It's very confrontational with how it presents itself. And speaking of the editing, there is one scene in particular, you guys will know when you see it, but the cross-cutting in the scene is perfection. But not just the cross-cutting, the score, everything happening in this scene. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was me during the scene. Oh god, oh! Holy shit, oh! Throughout the scene, my jaw was dropped. This was, oh my god, what a scene this was. Going to the frightening stuff, is this film scary? Yes, it is. It is actually really scary and at times really terrifying. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think that this film was gorier than the original film because, especially with one of the scenes near the end, oh my god. And then finally the ending, just perfectly done. In terms of flaws, I do have one tiny flaw, but it doesn't really hold it back, but everything else we're going to talk about this section is really for everyone else. In terms of the runtime, this movie is just about 2.5 hours long, and I'm not gonna lie, there were really small tidbits, I mean really small parts that I really do feel like they could have gotten the ball running a little bit faster, but that's really it for me in terms of flaws. Like, I couldn't get enough of this movie. But for everyone else, this movie is definitely not gonna be for everyone. I can see a lot of people flat out despising this movie. In terms of the runtime, like I said, this movie is 2.5 hours long, and I can definitely see people being bored by this movie. There are some choices in the film that I can see some people saying as over the top, and there are even some choices that I can even see some people saying that that was just plain old fucked up. And I will not lie, if I hear people saying that, I won't disagree with them, but for me, it did not bother me personally. And there are some things that happen that are so in your face that I can definitely see some people being very uncomfortable by it. So overall, guys, Suspiria, like I mentioned before, is a movie that is definitely not going to be for everyone. There are some people that are going to absolutely hate this movie, and I will understand why. But then there are others that will love this movie, and I am with the people that loved this movie. From the acting, to the score, to the cinematography, to the direction, the editing, this is without a doubt one of my favorite films of the year, and I am absolutely going to give Suspiria a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely love this film, and I cannot wait to see it again this weekend. Alrighty guys, so comment down and let me know below. Are you guys looking forward to the remake of Suspiria? Did you guys love the original film? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and I'm also on Snapchat and Stardust. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Suspiria. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe to see more reviews just like this one. If you guys want to see my review of Halloween, please click right here. Or if you guys want to see my review of Apostle, please click right here. And of course, until the next review, I will see you guys next time.